everyone, and welcome to another episode of 1923 Main Street.
Home of the Disney Travel Podcast with the latest Disney travel news. We are your hosts.
I am Mike Bellabraddock.
And I'm Amelia Bellabraddock. And today, Disneyland has just upped its game when it comes to park food, and they are secretly moving along with what could be a third park.
Yes, lots of news this week, and interestingly, following up on all the chatter about what came out of Destination D23 and is Walt Disney World getting a new park, or what they said this year was different than last year, so who knows how much of what Destination D23 says can really be trusted. In fact, some people are saying, why do they even bother doing this blue sky stuff, right? Because we're doing Encanto and Magic Kingdom. No, wait a minute, now we're doing Encanto and Animal Kingdom.
Let me tell you what they're doing. They are testing public approval. They're going to tell you, we're doing Encanto and Magic Kingdom. Everyone's like, ooh, why Magic Kingdom? Disney's like, well, Animal Kingdom, actually. And then if people like it, then great, let's move ahead. That's my theory.
Well, while the theory and everything was going on, Disneyland has been sort of quietly moving ahead with what I think a lot of people forgot about. Disneyland Forward project is a third park finally coming. And all the news this week from a couple of California news outlets pointed to this is moving forward. We're getting very close to becoming official now. It looks like a third park's coming. Will it be Arendelle? Will it be Zootopia? Will it be Rapunzel's Corona or a combination of them? What is happening at Disneyland Resort?
Well, maybe this was Disney's plan all along. They are very magical. They distract us over here with Disney World this and Disney World that, and then suddenly, bam, Disneyland's all up and ready to go.
And what happened is, the reason this is in the news is the city of Anaheim released a 17,000-page environmental assessment report for this Disneyland Forward project. And, it wasn't perfect. There's a lot of, they said, of course, it's going to increase greenhouse gases and stuff like that.
And they noted a bunch of issues over this point. But additionally, they did mention that probably this would be moving ahead.
Yeah, it sounds like the signs are pointing to it moving forward. So we don't know when this is going to happen or that, but we do know where and what may be involved because there were some other discussions going on.
So there have been talks of Peoplemover and the Skyway making return appearances.
Yeah, because they're talking about how are they going to move people around. So it's interesting. Where it's going is currently a parking lot on the east end of Disneyland, and they're trying to sort of build this closer to some of the hotels that are on the, they're not exactly right next to the current park. So this third park could be close to the hotels. They're even talking about walking bridges over Harbor Boulevard and Disneyland Drive to allow guests to move more freely.
Well, I was going to say, I wonder if they almost want to do what Universal does, which is make a Peoplemover or Skyway type thing between the parks.
That's what I'm thinking too.
Because Disneyland and California Adventure are so close that guests can do them both without outward transportation. So
the third gate.
So the third gate would need to feel included in that somehow. So they would just make the transportation, I guess, accessible with your park tickets.
Yeah, that's
right?
exactly what I was thinking. It's funny you said that too. So this is what we see reading into this. But all this type of discussion is far, far more detailed than these blue sky, maybe one day before I'm dead, Walt Disney World will do something major. This stuff is really, really moving along, and the fact that they're talking about that kind of detail about transportation planning, and I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to see the Peoplemover in particular come back to Disneyland, and the Skyway. I mean, the Skyway, I don't know if they're going to make it like the original Skyways at both Disney World and Disneyland, or are they going to make it really like the Skyliner? I don't know, but here it would make sense, and it wouldn't be super long.
Well, Disneyland does feel just a little bit more nostalgic than Disney World because it is the original, so it has that extra touch. And I personally would love if they played into that more, if they played into the slight retroness of it all when they were building, this imaginative third gate. Or if they had almost like, with the transportation, almost like a ride where you're going through, a journey and it preps you for the third gate, or at least whatever land of the third gate you're entering. I think that'd be really
talking
cool.
About those lands, the reason those three, Arendelle, Zootopia, and Corona, are being discussed is because they're being built as we speak or about to open in other parks around the world. So
those are the three that they seem to be focusing on.
Or maybe they could do something entirely different.
Who knows?
We don't really know, but all we know is something is actually coming here, and it's not like Josh D'Amaro changing his tune every year at Destination D23. So
I mean, for all we know, it could be about a new movie we've never heard about yet.
that's true.
So
That's true. It could be. So I don't know. I think this is one I may actually see come to life. And they're not even using new land. They're using land they already own. You know what was interesting? When you look at the plan for this, it's really, really close to some people's houses. And the report specifically outlined it has to follow the 200 to 300 feet from the nearest home. Now, that's pretty close.
I was like, that's not that far.
Would you want Disneyland backing onto your house?
No.
Yeah, I know.
And I love Disneyland.
As much as we love Disney parks, there's going to be a lot of homes that could throw a, golf ball into the park.
200 to 300 feet.
Yeah. I mean,
that's like less than 100 meters.
Yeah, that's the town. That's Anaheim's rule. And
that is not
when
very
you look,
far.
yeah, the artist rendering, the houses are, it's like there's a noise wall, and then boom, homes. So,
yeah, just for context, Usain Bolt could run from that house to Disneyland in 10 seconds.
Yeah,
so
just
we'll
see.
everyone for context.
We'll see when you're going to build a ladder from your backyard and hop over into the park.
Yeah, it would take the average person 30 seconds to get there.
Or they'll have to have beautiful, wire on the top, just it'll look like a prison. I don't know, but it's going to be, this is a challenge for Imagineers because they don't have the kind of room that Disney World has, which is why Walt Disney wanted to buy so much space. So now they're literally butting up against a subdivision. How are they going to manage that? They can't just use berms. They don't have a lot of room.
Buy the subdivision and make it Golden Oaks Part 2.
Yeah, where people will knowingly want to be next to a Disney park. So that's what's happening. And more news from Disneyland on the food front. 3 restaurants have new food items, and what's not only new food items, but new drink items. And not only new non-alcoholic drinks, but drinks. Alcoholic drinks, which made me think of your friend.
Poor Kevin Jonas.
Poor Kevin Jonas, who went on a bit of a rant about Disneyland Park serving alcohol. He is not going to like this. So, Mr. Jonas, this one is not for you. You are not going to be happy with this. 3 restaurants now. Let's talk about the new food items. These do not necessarily replace things you love, but these are new food items. Let's start with River Belle Terrace, which I have not ever eaten at.
Well, lots of new options. I want to focus firstly on the brunch options because I definitely need to try a few of these. So first off, they have a warm bacon and spinach salad, which has a bacon vinaigrette, heirloom cherry tomatoes, and cheese curds, and this is only available at brunch. This one's not necessarily my cup of tea, but Disneyland always tends to be more healthy.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of new brunches coming, and they also have
This feels very California.
Yeah, scrambled eggs, bacon breakfast, that's new. Signature pancakes. Now, this one's interesting.
This one I love. Pumpkin spice pancakes for fall season, so I imagine these might be seasonal.
Yeah, this one sounds seasonal. Not all of them are, but this one is.
Yes, and then you also have a roasted summer squash with, again, heirloom tomato sauce, heritage grains.
Oh, succotash, greens, and tofu. So this is your plant-based version here. That's brunch and dinner, so you can get that at 2 meals.
And the dinner options don't seem to be too far behind in terms of quality.
Yep, chicken pot pie, pretty standard. Pork chop with mashed potatoes, also new, dinner only. Blackened fish with tartar sauce. So, some good general new items, but here's my favorite. Interesting one, and I'm sort of torn. Barbecue brisket burnt ends, which I love, but it's barbecue brisket burnt ends pasta.
Ooh.
You might love that.
I'll try that. You can eat all of the, healthy topping
stuff. Yeah, it's pappardelle pasta with caramelized onions, wild mushrooms, and that's a dinner one. So if I were to go to River Belle Terrace, which, by the way, is in Frontierland, not too far from Tarzan's treehouse, has a good riverfront view, so I may now go and try this brisket pasta. And, of course, chocolate chip cookie and plant-based ice cream added for the dessert in this restaurant. Now, drinks. Non-alcoholic Mississippi mud pie. Wow. Sprite, chocolate fudge syrup, and cream. Topped with whipped cream and crumbled chocolate cream cookies. Holy moly, too sweet for me.
This is giving your 7-year-old will run around the whole park for the rest of the day. So beware with that one. Next up, this, I believe, is alcoholic.
This is my style.
The Wild Berry Mule, which is Tito's handmade vodka, blackberry puree, lime, and ginger syrup with blackberries.
Yeah, that sounds good. And then lots of wines from Nielsen Wines, Maomi Wines, Modelo. Beer is now on the menu. and Smog City Brewing Sabertooth Squirrel Happy American Amber Ale. Probably the longest beer name I've ever seen.
Yeah, well, I definitely want to give that restaurant a try next time we're there.
Yeah, so Riverbell Terrace sounds good. Now, how are we stacking up at Cafe New Orleans? Now, this one we have been to in New Orleans Square. Nice spot as well, sort of a French Quarter flair. The only drinks are new here.
Yes, and surely a lot of them. We have some Bayou Punch, which is non-alcoholic. It's just some Minute Maid lemonade, zero sugar, orange juice, strawberry puree, blackberry syrup, and an alligator-shaped gummy for your little ones.
Yep, they now have a Hurricane, and then they have some new wines from McBride Sisters, a Chardonnay, Mirasu Wines, Pinot Noir, and then a couple of new beers from Carl Strauss and Sierra Nevada. And then finally, at the Carnation Cafe, which is on Main Street, USA, great spot.
Yeah, so this is very American comfort food.
They have food and drinks. Let's start with the food.
First up, they have a veggie skillet, which is 3 cheese eggs, breakfast potatoes, onions, mushrooms, peppers, spinach topped with cheese, and fresh tomato garnish, which is only available until November 9th. Same thing, only available until November 9th as well, at breakfast only, so very limited edition.
This one sounds good.
Walt Chili Cheese Omelet. This is a cheese omelet topped with chili, cheese, and chives served with breakfast potatoes.
That's going to be filling. I've never had, I have to say, chili with eggs.
I would give it a shot.
I would give it a shot too.
Good. And then, of course, last thing, they have a brownie with chocolate sauce, which is plant-based.
All right. Now, in the drink section, there's couple of interesting... This is interesting because...
Yes, Disney loves their Sprite with non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, but look at all the alcoholic drinks. It says breakfast only in almost all of them. So they're all sunrise drinks. So you come into Disneyland Park and you get your shot and then you go into the park. So
Disney decided they were doing
alcohol.
Who is it,
Kevin Jonas? He is going to absolutely hate this.
Disney was like, we're doing alcohol.
All right, so they have an orange creamsicle, non-alcoholic, blah, blah, blah. Let's get into the alcoholic.
Oh, great.
This one sounds good. Lavender mimosa. So I have some lavender syrup. I'm going to try this. It's basically sparkling wine with lavender syrup, so that might be nice. That's a breakfast drink.
Similar thing with an orange juice mimosa. Again, breakfast only.
Yeah, pretty standard a mimosa.
Additionally, they have a Bloody Mary with, homemade vodka, Cutwater Bloody Mary mix, and bacon and celery. Only available at breakfast.
Breakfast only. This is so bizarre,
Does
Disneyland.
breakfast at least go to 11 a.m.?
Yeah, I know. All right. Then they have sparkling wine, breakfast only. Don't ask me why. I mean, and then they have Chardonnay that you can get any time of the day and some Cabernet from Silver Palm and Michelob Ultra if you want a light beer. You can have that anytime. And then finally, Golden Road Brewing, right on 10 hop, hazy IPA. So... don't you find this kind of funny?
Yeah, why?
Is this a typo? I don't know what's
question.
going on. Disneyland, you're going bananas. I don't know. It's a love it or hate it thing, but I just think it's sort of funny. Breakfast only. So you want your shot, you better get in there. They want people in the parks drinking on Main Street.
Yeah, I guess they decided to get in with the brunching crowd.
Oh, how the times have changed.
Oh, my goodness. Well,
I think it's funny. All right, so there you have it. You can have your morning drinks on Main Street.
Maybe then your kids will be easier to deal with.
Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be quite interesting as this rolls out. Anyway, that's the news for this week. All from Disneyland. New parks coming your way, new drinks coming your way, and new food coming your way. So lots of stuff probably happening for sure at Disneyland. We'll see what the future holds for Walt Disney World outside of the things we know that are happening, like Test Track. I'm talking about the new park type stuff. That's all the blue sky. Maybe we'll see what Josh says next year. Anyway, that's the news for this week, everyone. And by the way, our new shop is now open, 1923mainstreet.com/shop. We have some very cool new Disney-inspired items, all original designs, including a Boo to You crew that you and your family might want to wear at Halloween. Check it out. Helps to support the show. Thanks for listening. Follow along on social media at 1923 Main Street, and we'll see you again next week. Have a magical day.
Bye-bye.